Let's talk about the important stuff. My weekly gross this week was horrible for two reasons. Number one, Friday, I think it was Friday, I got an email saying, hey, it's time to do your DOT audit. And so what I had to do was wait for an envelope to get to the house with a PIN number in it. But I'll go into that in detail in a video later. So I planned on taking a few days off this week, try to get that done, which it really only took a couple of hours. But so I booked a couple of loads, booked two loads for Monday. Only got one of them in. The second one got canceled. I even had a flat tire on that first one, but I got that one in, and then I took most of the rest of the week off. Thursday, I booked another load, went about 15 miles over to get, it was an empty trailer. That one wasn't ready. So the guy was there, just handed me $100 and said, thank you for your time. And it's here, when it gets ready, you can come get it, which I'll do it Monday. But that's how the week went. I only got one load in. It was a decent paying load, but I'm going to go over these numbers. And in some ways, it's a very disappointing week in a lot of ways as far as the gross numbers go. But it also goes as sort of an advertisement of how, if you have everything working the right way and you've done all your homework, how easy it is to make a decent check. And I'll show you that real quick. So $1,250 for the entire week. 380 miles, that includes deadhead miles, loaded miles. I don't separate them because I still have to pay for the fuel, so it makes no difference to me. So 380 miles, $3.28 per mile. This is a number I always like, 10 hours, and that includes waiting almost 2 hours to get a flat tire fixed. So I only worked 10 hours this week as far as driving the truck. Here are the bills. The bills. I separated it down into my weekly cost, and there's a few things on here I probably forgot. I just tried to include the big things. So insurance, $350. Fuel, which I didn't need to buy any extra fuel this week. I was still using some from last week I bought, but I figured it up anyway. $219. $20 for load boards and $50 for etc. tags, that stuff. So, how much did I net for the week? Let me put it this way. I'm going to put it in perspective. I used to work for a Fortune 500 company, and at one time I was in what was called a craft job, and we were the highest paid non-management employees in that company. Huge company. And I believe before I went into management, I was making about $33 an hour. So after you take out taxes and after you take out all the money they charge you for your benefits and all the other little things, I was bringing home, I'm not real sure about this, but I was bringing home about maybe a little over $800 a week if I didn't work any overtime. And I worked 40 hours a week for that. Outside, sweating all day, or in the rain, or in the mud, or in a manhole, or climbing a pole, or carrying a ladder, or dealing with irate customers. Anyway, you get the picture. That's good money. That's, a high-paying job. How much did I make after all this? I'm just kidding. I made $611 that will go in my bank account to pay my personal bills. But think about that. I worked one day driving around in an air conditioner. Didn't have to talk to anybody. I had to talk to people at a gate that hand me my BOL, and didn't have to really deal with anybody. and I only worked 10 hours for $611. I just want to kind of put that in perspective. Of course, you can't do that every week when you own a trucking business, because you have those repairs that come up, stuff like that. But there's that week when if you only want to work 1 week and you have $500 in bills, you can do it, because you can pay those bills and float yourself to the next week. You can have a really, really bad week and still pay your bills. Or you can have one of those weeks like that's going on right now where the freight isn't really that great and you're making $2 a mile. You can still be leasing a truck, paying $1,000 a week, and at $2 a mile, pay for your fuel, your truck, your insurance, all these things, and still bring home more than you can on one of these jobs where you think you've got a good job with good benefits and you're dealing with all kinds of crap. I would never ever go back. I didn't realize, I realize now how much I did not like that job. But when you do the comparisons, there's no competition.